most versatile substance on the planet, and they used it to make a frisbee.
Hey everyone, Colton here, and welcome to ComicsAlliance. So, one of the oldest debates that has echoed throughout comic book shops for decades is the question of which fictional metal is stronger, Vibranium or Adamantium.
If you'd placed it near a river or some sort of fresh water source, that makes sense. But you find yourself in the ocean, 20-foot waves, I'm assuming it's off the coast of South Africa.
With Wolverine coming into the MCU, it may not be too long before MCU fans find themselves having the same debate. Can Wolverine claws cut through Cap's shield or penetrate the suit of Black Panther? But that's all assuming that the MCU's Wolverine has an adamantium skeleton, which he very well may not. What? So let's talk about how adamantium could be created in the MCU and which metal the MCU's Wolverine will have on his claws and skeleton. So let's start with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That film made it very clear that Vibranium is going to continue to play a massive role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as it has for years already. In Wakanda Forever, we see military forces attempt to steal Vibranium from the Wakandans, which doesn't go so well. And then, when using a newly constructed machine to locate Vibranium across the globe, they accidentally come in contact with Namor and the Talocan, which also doesn't go well. And then of course the film ends with Namor making the prediction that war is coming and that the people of Talocan and Wakanda will need to stand together against the forces of the rest of the world when they ultimately come for them both. Now, Wakanda Forever also revealed that the Wakandans are not the only people who came in contact with Vibranium all those centuries ago. Namor and the people of Talocan were also enriched by Vibranium-infused plant life, and Namor himself credits a Vibranium-infused plant for his mutation.
The plant gave me wings on my ankles and ears that pointed to the clouds. I was a mutant.
So, with Vibranium being the metal that Cap's shield is made of, the material that Vision and Ultron were made of, the substance that created the power of the Black Panther via the heart-shaped herb, and maybe even the very material that the Celestials are made of. Great video over on Screen Crush breaking that theory down, by the way. I highly recommend it. Point being, it's clear that Vibranium is here to stay.
You're going nowhere!
So now we have to talk about Adamantium, most popular for its connection to Wolverine. But in the comics, even prior to it being put on Wolverine, we have seen Adamantium be in Cap's shield as well as a part of Ultron. But before Disney acquired Fox, the MCU was prohibited from even referencing Adamantium because that metal was part of the X-Men lore that Fox had the movie rights to, and therefore the MCU could not even acknowledge its existence.
I don't even know who you are.
But with Disney having bought Fox and Marvel having the film rights of the X-Men back in their quiver, it has left fans wondering if the MCU's Wolverine will have an adamantium skeleton and claws, or will they simply swap out adamantium for Vibranium? Now, to me, from a story standpoint, it'd be derivative to bring in another strongest metal on Earth into the MCU. I mean, there can only be one strongest metal, and the MCU has made it very clear that that metal is Vibranium. And not only is Vibranium sought after for its strength and durability, but the technological and even biological advances it is capable of bringing to a society. It makes sense to me that the MCU version of this Weapon X program would use the MCU's strongest metal on Earth, Vibranium. The metal that even your average fan has become very familiar with.
Do not understand.
I do. I understood that reference.
Now, don't get me wrong, a battle to see which metal is the strongest, such as a Wolverine versus Black Panther or Captain America, type of showdown, that would be really fun to see. And that's actually something that we have seen happen in the comics, but I just don't think the MCU has plans to introduce a brand new metal when they could simply use Vibranium and it mean way more in the context of the MCU's lore. I think introducing a whole new metal could kind of undercut Vibranium, and that's definitely something you don't want to do when it seems that Vibranium is going to be playing a key role in future MCU films. So I say have Wolverine be one of Wakanda's examples of the horrible things outside forces would use Vibranium for if they were to get their hands on it, creating a weapon, Weapon X more specifically. An indestructible and virtually unstoppable person that could carry out missions for people like William Stryker, the guy who's responsible for Wolverine. Introduce Logan as an exploited mutant who could then be rescued by the people of Wakanda or even the MCU's Professor X. And let me be clear, I don't think that we're going to be seeing the MCU's new Wolverine until after the multiverse saga is over, so not until phase 7. I mean, we have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine returning in Deadpool 3, and if there's a god, we'll see him in Secret Wars as well. And he, of course, will likely be sporting his Fox X-Men Universe Adamantium claws, and we're almost certain to hear Deadpool make a reference to Vibranium and how once they get to the MCU, they should stop by Wakanda and get Wolvie an upgrade. Now, with all that being said, I do think that there is a way to have both Vibranium and Adamantium in the MCU without it feeling redundant. Stick to Vibranium being the strongest and most sought-after metal on the planet, and have Wakanda and Telecon continue to refuse to share Vibranium with the rest of the world for the fear of what could happen if it were to get in the wrong hands. This could then lead to attempts to synthetically replicate Vibranium. Imagine if one of the world's governments was able to get their hands on just a small bit of Vibranium so that they could analyze its molecular structure. Theoretically, they would be able to recreate a synthetic Vibranium, just how Shuri was able to recreate a synthetic heart-shaped herb. And perhaps a synthetic Vibranium is where Adamantium will be born, meaning in the process they create a whole new metal. And this would make sense because in the comics, unlike Vibranium, Adamantium is a man-made metal. And after seeing what Vibranium is capable of, especially in the realm of enhancing human biology, I'm curious what else Adamantium could be used for beyond its sheer strength and durability. Perhaps infusing a biological organism with Adamantium, a synthesized Vibranium, that could result in symptoms such as rage. So let me know, do you think that the MCU's Wolverine will have Vibranium claws? And if they do end up introducing Adamantium, will it be born from Vibranium in an attempt to synthesize it? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below, and you can also feel free to @ me on Twitter. If you're new here, please do feel free to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified every time we upload a new video. Join the Alliance, we'd love to have you. My name's Colton, I'll see you next time.